This is,
I did, I called order.
Got it?
yep.
To supervise the general public that in compliance with the Open Publics Meeting Act, the Little Lake Harbor Board of Education calls to be posted at the office of the Board of Education located at 307 Frog Pond Road, Little Lake Harbor, New Jersey, and faxed on January 8, 2018 to the Asbury Park Press, Atlantic City Press, Manahawkin Newspapers, and Sandpaper, and to the office of the Municipal Clerk of Little Lake Harbor, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting.
You don't have to do roll call, do you? You know, roll call.
Mr. Becker.
Here.
Mr. Malone.
Here.
Dr. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Molesky.
Here.
Mr. Moncrief.
Here.
Mrs. Palin.
Here.
Mr. Dalio. Ms. Martin is absent. You good? Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recommendation to approve the August 13th agenda.
Motion.
Second. Can I have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions?
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Mr. Malone.
Yes.
Dr. Gross.
Yes.
Mr. Molesky.
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief.
Yes.
And Mrs. Palin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Recommend motion to approve the following minutes. Can I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Are there any questions?
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Mr. Malone.
Yes.
Dr. Gross.
Yes.
Mr. Molesky.
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief.
Yes.
Mrs. Palin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Board presentations. Dr. McCooley, Superintendent of Schools, will give us a presentation on shared services.
If you want to, the hoppers over there. Oh, the hoppers, yeah. I can see it. Yeah, it's not full screen. Here, you put it on like you showed. Thank you. Okay, very brief shared service update. I emailed this out to the board as well. The following are the current shared services that we have here in Little Lake with other school districts. We have our occupational therapists and our physical therapists are shared with other districts. Our ESL teacher, our world language teacher, is now shared with Eagleswood. Our technology team has now enhanced their shared services, and there's a pilot agenda or pilot plan on the agenda for tonight. So basically what we're doing is we're sharing our tech team with Pinelands. They have their strengths at Pinelands, we have ours in Little Lake, and together it makes a team that's more comprehensive and can tackle more issues. So for this year, it's a very rough draft, and then we're going to iron out the kinks, see what's working, see what's not, and by the end of this year, we're going to have a more definitive plan in terms of the hierarchy, who's in charge of what, and that will be memorialized in a shared agreement with Pinelands. Obviously, we share a superintendent, me, with Pinelands. Although it's very busy, I think it's working out very well. The continuity of instruction, continuity of programs, and of course both districts are saving some money. I know that Sweeney has recently come out with some literature and some information about the desire for the state to consolidate and make all districts K-12. I think that we're on the forefront of that, and we've kind of taken a step in that direction, so that's definitely something to be pleased about. Our use of facilities is shared with Pinelands and many other local groups. We share some services with the township, such as our salting and removal of things. We get a discounted rate from them on that. Our school resource officers are a shared agreement with the township. We share a behaviorist with some other districts. And of course, on a formal and informal basis, we share professional development with the other local school districts. So what's next? Well, as I said, the state has really put forth the notion that we need to start sharing more, and they have the desire to make school districts K-12. I'm not sure how feasible and fast that will happen, but we know that based on experience, the more that we can share, the better it is for that continuity and that collaboration among the smaller districts. And of course, it definitely shares some money, or saves some money, excuse me. So we're heading in the right direction. Are there any questions from the board on that? No? All right, thank you. Who's next, John?
Erin Lindenwalmer, Director of Special Service. Did I say it right?
Yes. Close enough.
No,
Right?
it's
It's Erin.
Erin.
That sounds great.
Good evening. I'm here to go over our affirmative action update and our comprehensive equity plan for Little Egg Harbor. Our comprehensive equity plan was a 3-year plan from 2016 to 2019 with the Department of Ed, and really it's just making sure that we're in line with all of the affirmative action laws. So really just reviewing what affirmative action is. It's equal access to all of the things that we offer in our school district: facilities, programs, services, courses, and activities. No matter what your background is. So they're equal rights. So equal access, equal rights based on anything: creed, race, gender, color. You can read through the list. So we don't discriminate against any of these groups, and everyone has equal access to all of those things. So we are proactive in our district, and based on our comprehensive equity plan, in 2016 we completed a needs assessment, and we reviewed all of our policies that are related to affirmative action, and we do have a pretty long list here. I'm not going to read through them all, but it really goes from everything from physical education, so making sure that we're all inclusive with something like physical education, all the way to equal rights for our staff, our policies for contracts, our policies for people with disabilities, whether that be students or staff members. So we give equal access to all backgrounds, no matter what, and we have policies to make sure that we're doing all of those things. And our plan includes this year, it basically is saying that we've reviewed our policies, and you can see in every one of our board minutes, we pretty much have a policy that we're reviewing, that we're revising. We're constantly updating to make sure that we're staying within the guidelines of the Department of Ed to be an inclusive school district. And also at this time, I typically report if we've had any investigations for affirmative action. And this year we've had no complaints. So we've had no one come to us saying that we feel, that they feel that they were violated based on one of those determining factors, which I think is a really positive thing, and it says a lot about what we're doing as a district, the culture of our district for staff and for students. And we're going to continue to work on that. I think, even when we look at our board goals, a lot of that has to do with looking at our different backgrounds of our community members and our students and how we can meet their needs more effectively and efficiently and really reach everyone in our town. There is the DOE website for the plan. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lichtman-Walner.
Okay, next one is with our overview of a 2018-19 professional development plan. John, can you please help us out?
Okay, so just as I did last year, I'm presenting out on our district professional development plan. This was created in conjunction with our district goals that we established with our board. And so basically, just going through it, all districts must have a district level professional development plan. We work on that annually. It's approved by the local Board of Education. And then school goals will align with our district goal and plan. And really it's developed from input from various stakeholders. So having surveys out to staff and the community, and then also working with you. So looking back, last year's PDP, these are just some of the goals that we had. So we worked on differentiation and small group instruction, character education. We spent a lot of time looking over the science standards, unpacking them, piloting various programs. The use of formative and summative assessments. Instructional technology was a big focus as well. And I remember a year ago sitting here and Mr. Molesky, you said, wow, these are quite ambitious. And then kind of what we do every year is we go back in and we say, how did we do towards these goals? And I sat with one of our teachers who's working with me with her internship, And we really did achieve all of these in our professional development plan. So moving forward, we will have, this is our first goal, to continue to build the capacity of educators to incorporate the instructional practices and philosophies of the growth mindset to support the social and emotional needs of all of our students. And that came out of our district goal in saying that we want to be able to focus on the social and emotional competencies and standards from the state. And for our rationale, basically just having the opportunity to teach those standards, the research supports that. But that's really what's good for kids, having that growth mindset and having a learning environment that's conducive to this. Our second goal is to develop and train teachers to utilize standards-based common assessments as an analysis tool to drive instruction and make informed decisions to increase student achievement. So basically what that means is that we're going to work with the teachers this year in PLCs to develop assessments so that way they are common and that we can use it to make sure that what we're instructing aligns to our standards. So it's just that whole idea of what we're teaching and how we're teaching it and then sort of informing instruction moving forward. Our third goal is to increase teacher understanding of the components of the multi-tiered systems of support to meet the academic, behavioral, health, enrichment, and social emotional needs of all students. And this came about, we are the recipient of the NJTSS grant. And so basically they're going to be providing support to us with our literacy coach and working with our staff to focus in on what we call Tier 1 intervention. So that's what happens in the classroom and how we can help students before we look at services like basic skills or special education services. Our fourth goal is to build capacity of all teachers to use the district's formative and summative assessments as an analysis tool to drive instruction and make informed decisions. So with this, the schools will develop WIGs that align with our district PDP plan. Our professional development activities will include data-driven instruction, social and emotional learning standards, differentiation and small group instruction, best practices that we can use across the curriculum, and then again that Tier 1 interventions that happen in class. And then developing and utilizing common assessments. So what we'll do is work with focus groups, committees, and have surveys, and then data collection and analysis to make sure that what we're doing and implementing does align with our goals and our professional development plan. Also, we have our state mandated PD that's in addition to the goals that I just presented on, and that we achieve that through Safe Schools. So the teachers go on and they watch modules, and then there's a quiz. HIB and student conduct will be presented by Jackie Tresolino, the Director of Elementary Education. Child abuse and reporting through the NJDOE module. We have our dyslexia training that we do annually with our K-3 teachers, and that will work closely with our Orton Gillingham trained teachers to do that. And then all district policies and regulations are posted on the district website for staff and parents to access at any time. So, any questions? That was a lot.
That was great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We have our week.
Okay, report of the superintendent.
Okay.
No, I'm just going to read some things out. Actually, I just have some dates that I want to review with everyone. So our ACC preschool orientation is going to be August 29th. That's session 1 will be 9:30 to 11. Session 2 is 12 to 1:30. Kindergarten parent meeting and kindergarten orientation is August 22nd at 6 o'clock. That's for parents only. And the orientation for students and parents is August 28th at 10. And these will all be on Facebook and the website. Orientation for new students in grades 1 to 3. There will be an open house at George Mitchell on August 30th from 10 to 4. For students in grades 4 to 6 at Frog Pond, that will be August 23rd, 11 o'clock, and then again at 4:30. The first day of school is Thursday, September the 6th. This is an early dismissal day. Friday, September 7th will be a full day. Back to school nights. September 12th, 6 o'clock is George Mitchell. September 13th, 6 o'clock is Frog Pond. And October 3rd at 6 o'clock is the ECC. And in closing, thank you to our custodians and maintenance staff who have been working very, very hard and countless hours to get our schools ready, and they look beautiful. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay, it's residence forum agenda items only, please. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express, with each statement made by a participant limited to 3 minutes as cited in policy number 0167. The public may comment on any item on the agenda at this time. General public comment will occur later in the meeting. Anyone like to speak on agenda items only? Seeing none, board work session.
So we have a couple policies. We have a lot of policies on here that are going to be updated, but the mandated ones for this board meeting are policy 5111 and the regulation that coincides with it, and that deals with the eligibility of residents and non-resident pupils. The policy and regulation are attached for your review. And then the other one on here is 5513, and that's the care of school property, and that aligns with some of our technology. The next thing we have on Board of the Whole, we have 2 staff members that are requesting to bring either one is a child and one is, they are the guardian, and they'd like to bring their children here to Little Egg. We're pleased that staff wants to bring their children here, and our policy is as long as we have space for them, and we do in grades 1 and 2. So after looking at that analysis, we'd be more than happy to have their students come to school here. There was one question on the district website. It was when and where are new student signups. So just for the public to know, the district office is open Monday to Thursday. We're typically here till 4:30. And they can come at any time and see Jill. They can also start that process online. So we do have some online information that they can use, but there's no set time that they have to come and register. We don't want them to wait till the first day of school. We want them to get that, done ahead of time so we can place them in classrooms and get everything set for them. President's update.
Thank you, Melissa. I have nothing at this time.
Okay.
Let's move on. Finance, recommend motion to approve finance items A through D. Dave, may I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Dr. Gross?
Yes.
Mr. Molesky?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Mrs. Palin?
Yes.
Mr. Dahlia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Facilities, recommend motion to approve facilities items A through F. May I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Dr. Gross?
Yes.
Mr. Molesky?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Mrs. Palin?
Yes.
And Mr. Dahlia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Technology, recommend motion to approve technology items A and B. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Questions? Roll call.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Dr. Gross?
Yes.
Mr. Molesky?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Mrs. Palin?
Yes.
Mr. Dahlia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Under new business, we do have some new business to discuss. Recommend motion to amend the agenda item to approve the following recommendations of the superintendent of schools. Resolve the Board of Education hire Miss Jessica Renshaw, George A. Mitchell music teacher, step 1 VA, $56,784 pending negotiations with Little Lake Harbor salary guide effective 9/1/2018 through 6/30/2019. Ms. Renshaw will be replacing Ms. Marissa Wright, who resigned. This is a technical position, and time accrued will go towards the tenure. Of the motion.
Motion. Second.
Questions? Roll call.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Dr. Gross?
Yes.
Mr. Molesky?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Mrs. Palin?
Yes.
And Mr. Dahlia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolved that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement of Ms. Ann Facemeyer, Administrator Assistant Bookkeeper, effective 12/31/2018. Ms. Facemeyer has served this district for 15 years of dedicated service to the staff and to the students of Little Lake Harbor. May I please have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Balone?
Yes, with regret.
Dr. Gross?
Yes, with regret.
Mr. Molesky?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Mrs. Palin?
Yes.
Mr. Dahlia?
You'll be greatly missed. Yes.
I'll miss you.
The Motion regretfully carries.
All right, informational items, the following items are being presented for informational purposes. Moving on, personnel, recommend motion to approve personnel items A through L. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Dr. Gross?
Yes.
Mr. Molesky?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Mrs. Powen?
Yes.
Mr. Dowling?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Id, no harassment, intimidation, or bullying cases to report. Policies and procedures, recommend motion to approve policies and procedures items A through L. Make a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Mrs. Powen?
Yes.
Dr. Gross?
Yes.
Mr. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Molesky?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We're going to public comment. Floor is now open to members of the public. Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing the members of the public to express their statement made by participant limited to 3 minutes as cited in policy number 0167. There is a sign-in sheet located in the podium. Please sign in before you speak. Anyone would like to speak to the public? Okay.
Oh, there's no.
There's nothing to write in? No, it's not. We can hear you.
I'm just wondering on H, which is, I don't know what sections that's in, but it's page 13, what the comprehensive equity plan is?
That was the thing that Mrs. Lichtenwalner presented tonight.
Great. Okay, other questions? What, and now it's on page 5, X. No, excuse me, W. The yearly administrative fee with the Township of Little Lake Harbor, is that for the police?
No, it's not. It's a $7,500 fee, I believe, right? Is that what it's
Yes.
listed as? So that's our shared services with Little Lake Harbor Township. We get salt at the
Plowing?
discounted rate, other services, fuel discounts, stuff like that.
Okay,
Signs.
Yeah, signs when we need them.
okay, great. Okay, so then Bay Tree experts here, what's going on there? Are you making a new playground, or why are we digging up all the stumps and everything?
Well, for safety and security reasons, we're clearing the trees closest to the school. They provide roof access to somebody with bad intentions, so we're
Gotcha.
clearing those ones away from the school. Also clearing some other trees around the school, either they're overgrown to the parking lot or gonna fall down.
Okay. And the drainage system, is that what I'm seeing out here already? You putting in French drains, is that it?
So if you noticed when you came up the walk next to the admin building,
Right.
for years, that there's, I think, 11 downspouts that come off the gym roof, that roof on that side and the admin building, they all dump into that courtyard, but they don't have anywhere to go. So it tends to flood, a lot of bugs and standing water, and for a long time there's gates there to keep the kids out for safety. So we're trying to properly maintain that so it doesn't destroy the foundation of the admin
Seems
building.
like a lot of money, I don't know.
It's a lot of work.
Is it? Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Currently now, when it rains, it floods into the district offices. Mrs. Treslino's office for years was underwater, so it definitely has to be done.
Okay. Okay, and then I just wanted to ask about the, I know I don't have much more
You're
time,
fine.
but the 2 districts that are now going back to being 1 district, how is that coming along?
I'm sorry?
Making the
there's no-
2
If I
separate
can,
districts?
No,
if I can clarify,
There's 2 districts.
No, let her just answer her question. Go ahead, Pat.
you asked me the other day about the restructuring of schools, is that what you're talking about? So she's referring to
Okay.
from K-6 to 2 schools
I
to
see,
K-3
okay.
to 4.
Oh, it's going really well. So the move was well planned out. The teachers were absolutely wonderful in terms of getting things boxed up, labeling everything. Certain things had to be in the hallway, other things were left in their classrooms. It was done methodically, and it went very, very well. The moving company was wonderful that we used, and items are moved, and now it's just final cleaning and getting everyone set up.
And so parents and everybody is happy that the whole bus schedule now is going to be changed and everything?
You know, it affects everyone differently. Overall, it's been very positive feedback. There's a couple here and there that had some questions. We've been answering as much as we could through Facebook, email, phone calls, but quite frankly, it has not been negative over the summer at all.
Okay, great. Okay, and then how are the contracts going, the teachers' contracts?
They're going.
That's it. Okay. All right. Didn't know if I would get anything out of that, but I think I tried.
Anyone else like to speak? Okay, moving on. Board forum. Robert?
Nothing.
Okay.
Just a very quick but sincere congratulations to Mrs. Spacemeyer. You've served this district above and beyond the call of duty. Thank you for everything you've done for the district.
Mr. Becker?
Again, nothing here, but again, too, and I know that the district is going to miss you. I am too.
You're still gonna call her all the time.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, she's, her phone's getting blown up.
Mrs. Bailey? June, would you like to say something?
I'm going to join in the rest of the group because it's going to be a big hole in our group that we're going to miss and probably won't realize how much until she's actually gone. Then we'll see all the stuff that she did that we aren't even aware of. Thank you.
Bruce?
My pleasure.
Thanks, Ann. And again, historical data for everybody else. Catch her before she leaves. And I'll wish everybody in Little Egg and Pinelands Regional good luck at your school openings.
Thank you. Mr. Malone?
Summer's going by too fast. Congratulations, I'm gonna miss you. You've been here for a long time, helped all of us out. You're gonna be missed a lot. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, I'd like to speak back on that and say, you know what, I mean, first of all, I don't think it's gonna be easy to replace you. We were here without a BA, and along with Dr. McCooley, you ran the office and you did the budget. And, you know, the amount of knowledge you have was quite amazing to me. And you put a lot of hours in, and you helped this board and the district along while we were searching for a new BA. So I really appreciate all the hard work you put in, and I am deeply going to miss you.
That's my
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's it, so I have a motion for adjournment.
Motion?
Second.
All ayes.
Aye.
All nays? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.